can be an individual. You don't have to be a group to go to these things. So, I mean, granted, if you have a buddy, you have somebody that can watch out for you. You could be your handler and stuff like that. And most of these places know that you need help and stuff like that. Because let me put it this way, when you go to these events, don't expect catering from them. Sometimes they'll say, well, we got that bathroom over there, just don't step in that puddle. You know, that might be where you have to change. So, I mean, like one thing I did, because I knew that I do a lot of on-road mascoting, I bought one of those Dodge Caravans that has that stow-and-go seating in it. So I put all the seats down in the floor, and it's got air conditioning in the back, and I took in, because in Florida, it's like 100 degrees, it's hot. I turn on the van, get the air conditioning going, I can change in the back.
I bought that.
Wow. Or you can go that extreme, but my HOA wouldn't let that. But I do my changing, my windows are tinted really, really, really dark, and I just get in the back, I change into my costumes. I have remote control keys, so I just put a key in my paw, and I hit the button, it opens up the door. I get out, I push the button, it closes the door. I go do my gig. When I get back out, I come out, push the button, the whole doors opens up, I climb in. And so that's where I do my change, that's my portable changing room. Because I know it's cleaner than some of the bathrooms they tell me I can use.
Furries by the Bay started just kind of a group of furs with fursuits who just wanted to get out into the public and community and perform. So we banded together under this name, and through the works that we've done, where we've gone, we built up this name, and it's important to, it lends credibility to gather under a name, to push that name forward, and build a rapport in the community.
So we decided early on with Critters for a Cause to not reference the furry fandom. We don't refer to our costumes as fursuits, we don't refer to ourselves as furries, and we also don't permit use of anything in real furry use or make references to conventions on our website. Unfortunately, with all the negativity that's out there in the press, that decision was a hard one to make, but one that our members agree with. And when we are approached by anybody from the outside and they ask, are you guys furries? Because there are many, you have to understand this term now has become so mainstream, and chances are you will be approached if somebody asks. And we just simply reply, we're actually not part of the furry community. This is our group. We're Critters for a Cause. And most people accept that response. And if they decide to pry, we'll say, well, some of our members may go or may be part of the furry community, but this is our group, and this is what we're doing to help this organization out. We've only had to field the question a handful of times, and generally when we've given them the response of, no, we're actually not part of that community, we're our own group, we're independent, and here's our logo, most people say, oh, okay, that's great. And they may ask some questions about furry, but usually it doesn't come up because they see the good that we're doing, and they don't attribute it to the negativity, and that has been very good. It was one of those, well, this is an experiment, let's throw this out there and see how people react to, putting these costumes out there and running this stuff. And I'll tell you, the fear was gone after the first three events. Nobody asked, nobody questioned, everybody was smiling, they were all happy, they thanked us to be there, they welcomed us to come back again. They catered to us, like he mentioned, with water and a changing room, and it's been great. I see no reason to keep moving forward and with any fear of anything that can be attributed negatively from the fandom. And actually, in all the positive that we're doing, we're hopefully start to change that image, because we are putting ourselves out into the public, aside from MTV and aside from the rest of the press that's out there. We're showing people that we are actually doing good. And if we like to say that we're furries, and they can say, you know what, you're nothing like that television show, you're nothing like that. And that's great, it'll cause a perfect separation, and then we don't have to fear so much.
Need to appear as professional as possible. So, I know a lot of people like to do this when they go out to dinner at cons and stuff like that, but the ears and tails to the general public scare them. They don't know what they think of that. And like I said, you might have fun doing it, and I don't say that anybody can't do that, if they're going to go out in a group or whatever, but when you're trying to sell yourself, if you were to go to IBM and try to sell them something, and you're wearing ears and tails, they're going to laugh you right out the door. These charity events don't know anything about furry, and if they see freak shows come to the door, and which that's what it looks like to them, they're going to send you on your way. They don't want to have any part of you. So it's like I said, when these guys go and make their custom shirts up and you're all uniformed together, and all your handlers look the same, it's very much like the Disney mentality. All their handlers all look the same. They wear their same costume that shows a professionalism. Your group is organized. It's on par. Because you don't want people, like I said, you don't want people doing the things that get you banned, like dry humping in the corner or public debate, you know, the PDAs that they do and stuff like that. You have to make sure your group stays out of that, or these groups are going to laugh you or kick you right out of their, you know, right out of the doors, because you're dealing with kids or you're dealing with the public who knows nothing about the furry stuff. So don't scare them.
We do have requirements for the level of quality in the costumes, and that they don't scare children or anyone, because you want to have symmetry across your group. You want to have that. That's why we have a uniform shirt that's the same color. We have badges that look the same. We want to have as many things that are similar as possible. And when you have a scary costume next to a non-scary one, it just doesn't quite fit. And you can see from the costumes that are on here, they're all the very cheerful, the normal. Not normal, but I don't want to say that, but the happy mascots that you could find at Disney, or you could find as a mascot for a sports team or another organization. And that's the quality that we're looking for.
So we're going to need to wrap this up pretty quickly because we have another panel coming in at 11. Actually, some of the same people on this panel will be there. Are there any specific questions that anybody has? And again, this isn't all just about costume character performance. There are so many things that you can offer, whether it's, you know, reading to children or visiting with adults at a retirement center, or building a website if you're a technical person, building a website for a charity that needs help. More volunteer organizations need help than you can imagine. And they don't have a lot of money. What we provide to them is really the bread and butter of how they get things done.
Something I discovered, like for those of you that are web savvy, a lot of these organizations that you volunteer for are 501c3s, and I actually found a nice little perk that a company, some of you probably have heard of DreamHost. DreamHost offers free domain name registration and hosting for 501c3s. So if you can go to a small 501c3 that's starting out and you say, hey, I can do a web page for you, and if you go back to them and you turnkey an entire website, I mean, even their website has things like Drupal and stuff like that already built into it. You can turnkey a website and make it flash out, and then you hand it over to them and say, here's the keys to your website, no cost. Some of these groups that didn't have any ability to write a website except for some AOL homepage, you just improved their stature. And they love that stuff. And I mean, it's like, I say, DreamHost does it because it's a tax write-off for them. And, you know, and it's because I used it for my local Aries group. I was like, DreamHost gives free hosting, free domain registration. You know, that easily is like $200 a year that I've just saved the organization. So look into things like that too. I know there's a lot of geeks in this fandom. And some of the stuff that I've seen, some of the web pages that I've seen people write with Flash and Java, I mean, you guys are great artists. You guys can do some awesome Flash and Shockwave animations and stuff. I mean, you can do some incredible work in that field and give these these organizations that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of these groups just want a logo. I mean, you could turn around, if you're a good artist and you're like, oh, here's the, the injured dogs of, Cincinnati. And you go and you draw up a nice dog character with a cast on his leg or something like that. These people go ecstatic for that kind of stuff. So you don't have to have a costume to do this.
We have become, I think you've noticed, we have become very, very visible here. And they can't get away from it. They can't say, I don't know what that is, because the entire city of Pittsburgh knows what we are. So they are very careful in how, there is a small group that works here locally with some of the events. And when you build a rapport with groups like the Toonseum, which is just down the street, they are very aware of what we are, and they actually proactively want to work with us because we've raised so much money for them already. They know how we work. They know that there are some people within the fandom that are a little bit more on the fringe, but they also know that for the most part, their interactions with us have been very positive. So, like I said, when you develop that kind of rapport and they get to know you very well, that's when it's maybe not as bad a thing when people start talking about it. If you're a costumer, a fursuiter, spend the money to go to a photography place and get professional glossy 8x10 photos of your costumes made in various poses, waving or juggling a ball or something like that. When you provide a hospital, or you provide the Boy Scouts, or you provide a muscular dystrophy walk with these kinds of images and say, this is what we can do, this is what we can provide to you, not only is it tangible, but the fact that you come prepared with something that really looks nice and slick means you're serious. And that's important to them.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for attending. This has been great, a good turnout. And if you'd like to work with us, that's great. Otherwise, I encourage you guys to go and check out what opportunities exist in your local community and get involved. Do some volunteering, do some good. Thanks everyone.